this is it. Last long haul OTR trip. We're getting unloaded here in Mississippi, Brookhaven, Mississippi. Been on the road for just over 2 weeks, 15 days today, and we've got at least a week before we get home, probably longer, maybe 8 or 9 days. So it's safe to say I'm burnt out. I've been doing the OTR reefer for a year now. Before that, I hauled cattle for 2 years, and I'm going back to cattle, man. It's time. I want to be around, I want to make good money, and also be home for my son and have a life, you know. The OTR thing was cool. I've seen the country. You know, I came, I saw, I conquered, but it's over with, you know. I see these guys doing this OTR thing, especially the reefer, with all the sitting, and their health is terrible. Physically, socially, it's like they have no skills left, you know, because you don't deal with people. You're not involved in society. You're on the road for a month at a time or longer, and then you go home for a couple days and it's a blur, and then you blink and you're back in the truck by yourself, you know. So, not to hate on this reefer thing, I mean, and the OTR thing, there's a lot of people that love it and wouldn't do anything else. I know me, and I know what's good for me, and even I could do this. I could do a lot of things, you know. There's not a lot of things that I can't cope with or adjust to, and I have adjusted to this, but the big factor for me is my son, you know. I hear a lot of guys out here on the road and on YouTube talking about, well, if you really love your kids, you'll sacrifice and make the money, and you'll be out here, you know. And I look at it a little bit differently. My son's 8 years old, going on 9, and he has no idea whether I have $5 or $50,000 in my bank account. As long as I have a house for him to be at and a vehicle to get him back and forth to school, then that's the important part. And the thing with me is that I have a skill set to where I can make literally better money than this and be home twice as much or more, and that is hauling livestock. I left doing that because I thought I didn't want to do it anymore. I thought that I had never hauled regular freight. I started out hauling cattle. That's all I did for the first 2 years in trucking. Well, I did a little bit of local at first for a few months, but OTR, all I done is cattle. And you know, you start telling yourself all the things that are wrong with it. You have to work a hell of a lot harder. It's a hell of a lot more dangerous. You run the risk of getting in trouble, messing up your license, etc., etc. And I started telling myself, oh, I can do this OTR freight thing, and everything will be easy as pie, and run legal, and not overweight, and if you're heavy, you go back and fix it, and all this kind of stuff. And for a few months, it was cool. But for me, the person that I am, and the way my personality is, all of the idle time, all of the downtime, all the waiting out here on the road, I've done everything I can to occupy myself. You know, I take my dog, go for walks, runs, I explore cities. I've done all that. I've been to every major city, explored it, and now I'm ready to be there for my son. So anyway, I'm going back to cattle because I'm willing to run harder, work harder, and take a few risks in exchange for better money, and more importantly, being home. I don't know, depending on how much I go home, it may not be a whole lot better money, but it'll be at least as good money as I'm making now, staying out for a month at a time, and I'll be home, you know, damn near weekly, literally. So anyway, this is it, the last West Coast run right here. It's a little bit bittersweet, but not really. I'm ready to be done with it. So once we get empty here, which should be soon, we are going to deadhead up to Jackson, Mississippi, which is an hour north of here on the 55. We're going to get our trailer washed out. We're going to get fuel, and then we're going to go about another 30 minutes north of there on the 55 to Canton, Mississippi. We're going to pick up a load, and we're going to Nogales, Arizona, which is right smack dab on the Mexican border. think it's on the 19 or something. I don't know. It's way over there, way down south in Arizona. So that's the plan, man. Let's do it. Mississippi, getting loaded. Truck says it's 103 degrees. I don't think it's quite that hot, but it's hot enough. So they didn't take very long. We've been here maybe like an hour and 15 minutes we've been here. So getting loaded right now. I have a friend who lives in Fort Worth. Like I said, we're going to Arizona, so that's right along the way. I have 9 hours left on my clock right now. Because I stayed on sleeper the whole time I was getting unloaded this morning for all morning. So I've got time left. It's like 6 hours to Fort Worth from here. I've got 9 hours on my clock. So as long as I don't get hung up here, she said that they park trucks at her apartment complex, which any of you guys that run the greater Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex know that truck parking is not cool around Dallas. So I'm gonna pull it up on Google and look at the satellite view and see what it looks like if I even want to drive in there. And if not, then I'll find a truck stop or something outside of the city. And she said she'd come get me. I'm not gonna have a lot of time. These loads have been tight lately. There for a while it was like I had more time than what I wanted, and now it's like I don't have enough time or whatever. But I'll do a 10-hour break there. I'll get there late tonight and then leave out in the morning or whatever. So that'll be cool. And it's not a friend like that. it's like a family friend. So anyway, here we are, Canton, Mississippi, loaded with fresh pork, going to Nogales, Arizona. So let's do it. guys. Well, we made it. Nogales, Arizona. It is like about 5:30 local time in the afternoon, and we deliver 3 miles away from here at 8 in the morning, so we're good. We made it with plenty of time, even though we lost a lot of time. I didn't really vlog the last 2 days of this trip at all because you know, I said I was going to stop and see my friend in Dallas. Well, that didn't happen. Over the last couple weeks, well, let's see, fast forward like maybe 2 months ago, I had a tooth that was killing me in the back of my mouth, in the bottom, a wisdom tooth, and when I was home for home time one time, I went and got it pulled, and it was like huge relief, absolutely huge relief. Well, that lasted for a while, and then over these last maybe like 3 weeks or so, my mouth has been bothering me again. And my teeth aren't like really bad or anything. I don't have like a whole bunch of problems, you know, but I just had that one pulled and I was good, but then my mouth started bothering me again. This time it was in the top on that same side. And so I've been for a couple weeks, because I've been out for you know, 2.5 weeks now, and I've been trying to put it off and go home because I like the dentist that I go to there and everything, and I know them, you know, so I've been trying to put it off, but it got to the point where it was like brutal, absolutely brutal. So I ended up stopping and finding like a 24-hour, not 24-hour, but like an emergency dentist that would take you without an appointment, and went and got a cavity filled, and that was like right at a $500 ordeal between taking a like $35 Uber to the place, and then about $400 for the procedure without an appointment. Like I called them, and within an hour and a half I was there in the office. So, and then another $35 Uber back to the truck. So that's been my last few days. That's why I didn't really vlog anything. I wasn't worried about it. I wasn't interested in it. So I feel better now. We made it down here to Nogales. Calvin is very excited. Come here, Cal. Come here, baby. Come here. Come here. What are you doing? So we made it. We're going to deliver in the morning, and then get a load going to Chicago and go home. Yeah. And that'll be that. So anyway, all right, guys, we'll catch back in the morning. I'll probably make this the end of this one, and then we'll start the next video getting unloaded in the morning or whatever, something like that. All right, guys.